Hang on, guys.
Strong. The new coronavirus epidemic is a big problem that's expected to become bigger in the weeks and months to come. For those who are infected as well as those trying to avoid infection, these are trying times. But amid all the doom and gloom, there are some positive stories, positive messages, and reasons to remain hopeful. So every afternoon at this time, your Wiregrass radio family of stations will come together while staying apart to help you stay informed. We're going to be seeking your input. If you're a business impacted by the virus, call and let the Wiregrass know what you are doing to continue safely providing your services or goods. And if you're a parent working hard to take care of your family, we'd love to hear how you are coping. Remember, only the facts, no hearsay or rumors, and we're trying to keep things positive. Our number is 334-699-1053, or you can join us on YouTube Live, and you can chat throughout the program.
Good afternoon, Wiregrass, and welcome to Wiregrass Strong. This is Monday, the 11th, starting week 8 of this craziness we've been going through. I don't know what else to call it, guys. But I'm sure glad to be here with you. Joining me this afternoon is Mark Culver and my morning show partner, Amy Pollard. My name is David Gilligan, and welcome to Wiregrass Strong. Business is back-ish. So that's reason enough to celebrate. I understand certain haircuts have been gotten already.
I was number one at my haircut establishment today.
Number one, first in line. Okay, so Mark Culver, chairman of the Houston County Commission. Good afternoon, Mark. You're celebrating the day with a haircut. How's it looking around the Wiregrass? How's it looking in Houston County, buddy?
Well, I think there is a better attitude today. I mean, out and about, people seem to be happy that businesses are open, particularly restaurants. Now, they're not all open yet. Some are opening Wednesday. I talked to a gentleman who's opening Friday. So people are business owners are taking it at their comfort level and as they should. Mm-hmm. And but the thing is, they're open to some degree, and I think that's causing a positive feeling in the community, not just in the community, but all over the state.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I've seen an increase in traffic myself. I think people are looking. Yeah. People are looking around. They're seeing the doors are open, and that's good.
One thing I was surprised to see today, heading for a doctor's visit, was the gym, like the workout gym. Mm-hmm. Like people are not even. I'm not seeing where it's got them hesitant at all to go back even into the gym and start working out again.
Now, there are rules, Mark, that and Amy, that they have to follow. Is that not correct? Certain distancing rules?
Everybody has distancing rules and, spacing, distancing, what they can wear and masking and all of those kind of things are out there, frankly, to keep us all safe and make sure we don't have to go back through this for a while. But yeah, there's been quite a discussion about when things did open, how would people feel? Would you feel comfortable going out to dinner or going to the gym or going to different places? And so far, I think we've seen a pretty good response to that. I went out to lunch today, and I felt like old time. It was
that was awesome.
Tables were a little different, further apart, but there was a decent crowd, and I was glad to have some hot French fries that weren't well, we won't go there, that were served to me. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, for
That's a
sure.
good feeling.
And
Go
then
ahead
I
and
needed,
plug.
and
Where'd
then
you
I
go to
needed to
lunch,
go to the
man?
gym after that, right?
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Give a shout out to where you ate lunch today, Mark.
I went to the cellar today. We talked about cellar. We talked about rock and roll. Rock and
Yeah.
roll
Mm-hmm.
CQ. We talked about a couple of different Mexican places. But I was just
Mhm.
glad choices. It
Yeah,
was nice
Yeah.
to have choices where you could go sit down. All these places were open curbside, but and I'm glad for that. And I
Mhm.
certainly did my share of curbsiding, if that's a
sure.
word,
Mhm.
curbsiding. We'll make it up as we go along. But it was nice to go sit down at a restaurant. And next this weekend, churches will be open to some level as opposed to before.
Mhm.
As we were talking about haircuts and nails and all those things, Amy, you folks need, and
Yeah.
those of
Oh,
us with no
wow.
hair
Thanks, man.
don't need very often. But all those things that are important to people, and most importantly, important to those businesses, are back operational. We've still got some that aren't, and those places
And
will
that's
be.
I wanna talk about those, Mark. Can we talk in specific? What would some of those places be that are not currently open?
A lot of your
Bowling alleys, I know.
bowling alley, recreational is what I was going to
Mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah,
Even city parks, or with playgrounds, are not
Mhm.
open yet because you can understand that the
sure.
touching and all that, and the
Right.
amount of cleaning that you'd have to do to keep those sanitized. Those are
Right.
going to be closed for a little while longer. I talked to the mayor earlier today about that. Um, but yeah, bowling where you have a lot of people congregating,
Mm-hmm.
bowling alleys,
Movie theaters, I think, are going to be.
bingo, movie
Yeah.
theaters, things like that are recreational in nature and entertainment in nature. Those kind of places are still closed.
Mhm.
But again, we're getting there, baby steps, and we want to be cautious because we absolutely don't want to be back in this place in in ever.
Ever.
So
That's right. Absolutely. Mark, I got to ask you, you pro mask? Are you going to feel like a lot of people are going to start wearing masks, or what's up with that?
we are encouraging everyone to wear masks when they're out. There are places, including the county, when we open back to the public next week, that are going to ask you to wear a mask if you come into the facility.
Hmm.
Some places are requiring masks. We think that's a good idea. We encourage everyone to wear a mask if you're out in public. Now, I see people riding around in cars with masks. I'm not sure what the
Well, if
purpose of
you're by
that is, but
yourself in the
I don't,
car, you probably don't need it.
well,
So.
unless you're just between places and you don't want to take it off.
Sure.
I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. So, but yeah, if you're going to the grocery store or shopping, or if you're coming to the county next week or wherever, places like that are public entities,
Hmm.
even if you're just going, going to some of these small retail places, we encourage you, if you're out in the public, to wear masks. So
I'm glad you mentioned that. Small businesses in particular, Mark. We were talking with some retailers a week or so ago, and I was so full of confidence that they're going to take such good care of their place of business that I can walk in with confidence. Because that's their life,
that's
and they
right.
want you to come back, and they want you to have a good experience. And after talking with those local retailers, it just really filled me with confidence, Mark, that they're going to do their end. So please get out there and pick back up those shopping habits that keep those businesses going, but do it the right way. Wear that mask, like you're saying.
Well, and I think we've had, there has been kind of I'm not going to say a rift, but there's been some difference of opinion about how we need to do this between the medical leaning part
Right.
of the community and the business owner part of the community. And I can understand that. If you're in the medical community and you've seen what this virus does firsthand, or you've had a family member or someone then you have that experience. So I can see why you feel that way. On the other end, if you own a business that's going out of business because you're not open, then you've got that experience.
Right.
now that we have both sides going, I think everybody wants to do the right thing, regardless of
Mhm.
whether you're business or medical. Everybody wants to do the right thing. I've noticed a couple of both hospitals are running campaigns to please wear masks, do the right thing, keep washing your hands, keep social distancing. The businesses, on the other hand, are in fact doing the social distancing and moving their tables and trying. So now that we've gotten past that rift about should we open or not, I think everybody is doing the right thing to try to move us forward and not have this become worse than it already is.
Well,
Or
Mark,
has.
everybody, all the businesses you've talked to, I'm sorry, Amy, all the
No,
businesses
it's
that
fine.
you've talked to, they're doing that. You're
They are.
feeling the same
Well,
confidence that I'm feeling, right?
yeah. Well, they have to. I mean, the order requires it, so they have to, or be shut down anyway. But they're doing it. I haven't talked to anyone that's doing it grudgingly. Everybody is
Sure.
understanding that it's the thing. Some people are worried that when patrons come in, there's going to be some resistance to being served by, a waiter or waitress with a mask, and that may be. And if that's the case, then those folks just need to stay home.
Yeah,
But
they're not ready
uh,
yet.
no, they're not ready. And I've talked to people that are not ready, and frankly, there are some situations that I may not go out into and be ready.
Sure.
But that's a personal choice. Those choices are out there now where they haven't been, and for those businesses, it's important to offer that choice.
Um, I was my thing is I'm thinking about the next phase of this thing, Mark. So obviously that would be bringing the restaurants back to 100% capacity, opening up the places that still have yet not been given approval to open. Can can you elaborate on what the next phase might also entail?
Uh, well,
Outside of those things, is there anything additional that maybe I'm not thinking of that the next phase might include?
Well, I mean, the next phase would include doing away with all the precautions, but Amy, I
Is
can't tell
that
you when
really
that.
gonna happen? Yeah.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know.
schools,
I
we got to
can't.
start thinking about schools.
I was gonna
Schools.
say, like,
We got to
sporting
start thinking
events and
about how to get kids to and from school because now buses are going to have to be carrying
mm,
That's right.
fewer kids. There's all kinds of things.
Schools are faced with one of the more
mhm,
difficult problems. I mean, because I don't know how you
mm,
6 foot distance school children and not double the size of the facilities that we have.
mhm,
You know
Hmm.
what I'm
right,
saying? So,
Well, I
right.
think a
so
lot of
that's going to.
teleschooling is going to probably start taking off. They've already been doing that.
Well,
A
and that's
lot
the
of
case.
the
That's the case in business too. I
sure,
have heard from a lot of businesses that, my employees have been home. A lot of them working from home. Hey, it's worked.
sure.
Uh, I don't have to provide that office space. You know, maybe I keep doing that.
Yeah,
That's going to be a new norm. We've even had that at the county already. Had some employees say, "Hey, I've been working from home. It's working. Can
mm,
I be allowed to continue doing that?"
Wow.
And
and I mean, I'm all for that. I saw also the other day where Amazon basically said to all the employees that are currently working from home, "We want you to continue working from home through October."
yeah,
So, that kinda tells me that that's kind of beginning to be a new normal too. I think a lot of businesses are gonna see maybe some of that overhead. They can kind of, um, you know, let some of that pressure release a little bit where they have that overhead. They may not need the space that they
that's
had
right.
before.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I heard a story about, and I can't remember where it was, but they had something like a $40,000 office, and they are cutting back to like a $10,000 office and telling all those people to stay home. And their office now will just be somewhere they can bring customers
Yeah,
to visit with them. But all their folks now, they're not providing offices; they're staying home because during all this, it's worked great. So there's we are the world we live in has changed,
It is
and some of it
evolving.
is permanent. Some of it
It
evolving.
is.
is absolutely evolving. I mean, you guys talk about downsizing of office space and stuff, but I'm thinking about how about landlords? How about the guys that are renting this space out?
Well,
We've got to evolve. We've got to figure out what to do, but we got to do it the right way. We
well,
got to be safe and
you,
cautious.
you're right, and that the whole landlord, you got tenants out there that have been closed and couldn't pay their rent to
Sure.
the landlord who now is not collecting and can't pay the bank. So
That's
I mean,
right.
there's
It's a
a
whole
whole
big
thing
mess.
there that's been going on, and well, most people have been willing to work together and figure that out, but
Hmm.
it's still an issue. At some point, monies have to be paid. So
Well, that's another
uh,
reason why we're excited that the local businesses and the small businesses are opening back up, because that's how that works.
Are you, Mark? I was just looking at the numbers for the state of Alabama, and I know that on Friday we were somewhere around 9,200. We're over 10,000 since Friday, so we're still seeing that uptick in COVID confirmed cases in the state of Alabama. What are you hearing about the actual
well,
reality?
and that's one of the things that we watch are the numbers, because we want to know that. Now, the daily numbers, I think, are one of the things that the Trump, the
Mhm,
Feds wanted us to watch. I
right.
think those in Alabama, if you have noticed the last week, they've kind of been going up. I think part of that is because of testing.
Mhm,
We've had more testing available, and so naturally, if you've got more tests, then you've got more cases. Um, if you look at the percentage of testing, even with that increase, it hasn't really gone up. So, I don't know that we're actually seeing a spike like it would look because of that
right.
numbers of tests when you look at the total percent. If that does that make any sense? I
It
Yeah.
mean,
does. I
It
understand
does,
what you're
and
saying.
is there a place locally right now that you know of in Dothan that's doing the testing?
yeah, there's several places. I mean, I think the
The farm
hospitals are doing
center, I
their
heard. Yeah.
yeah doing that. Well, not we're not doing it at the farm center every day, but
Right.
the health department is having different testing sites
Mhm.
around. Some of the local clinics are doing testing when the right people come in. Testing is much more available now than it was. We still don't have enough tests to meet the requirements
I was
of
wondering where we were on that.
yeah.
Um,
Well, we're better, but we're not where we need to be. How's that for a political
I
answer?
that's kind of what I was figuring. The
Yeah.
newest, latest, and greatest thing that I'm hearing, Mark, is that it's currently available in Mobile and Atlanta right now, where people can go and be tested for the actual antibodies, just to see if. Apparently, I already know a few people that have gone and been tested in Mobile that had it late December, early January, and didn't really know, never got a confirmation that that's what they had, because this was way before the whole really pandemic broke out clearly, but they were negative for flu, they were negative for strep, didn't really know what they had. So,
Yeah.
are you aware of any of that testing that's gonna be available where you can get tested to see about the antibodies?
There is, and I wish you hadn't asked me, because I'm not going to remember where, but there is somewhere in town you can get antibody testing, and actually
We need to know that.
I think it was February. I was for about a month, January and February. I was sick as a dog and could
Yeah.
not get rid of it. I went to the doctor 3 times,
Mhm.
and now that we are where we are, that's what everybody's saying. Well, you had this stuff, but I
That's
didn't
right.
have any fever. I didn't have any fever. I didn't,
Right.
So I don't
That
know. I'm
seems to be because the different variations of, symptoms from person to person, the ones that I've talked to that have gone and got tested, they're coming back positive, they've got the antibodies, so I believe that some of the sickness was in and around the area before we actually, quote, "knew" that it was
right.
here, so if we can find out, maybe you could pass that along, send us a text and let us know.
I
I know a
will.
lot
Yeah.
of people wanna know where they can go and have that done.
Yeah. I'll see if I can send a text
Oh,
real
somebody's
quick.
saying Alabama Clinic in Dothan,
Okay. There you go. See,
and
somebody out there knows, but Alabama Clinic.
that's where is Alabama
Alabama
Clinic?
Clinic. I don't
I
know where
mean,
that
in
is.
Dothan, but where? We need to know,
Alabama
specifically,
Clinic. Yeah.
Andrea, where that is, because that would be very, very useful. There's a lot of folks that wanna know, "Hey, have I already had this? Do I have the antibodies?" Um,
Of course.
maybe they were really sick and just didn't know that that's what they had.
It's entirely possible.
Well, of course, you don't want to flood them either, but at the same time, it would be.
52 West, outside the circle.
That's right. 52 West is where I heard. That is where I heard
Okay.
the
Look
place
at
was.
you.
Yes. But I didn't know the name at all. So
52 in Honeysuckle. So right
There
there
you
on the
go.
corner. Very nice. Thank you, Andrea, for letting us know that. Um, we'll need to call and see, do you have to schedule an appointment? Can you stop in and get tested for the antibodies? That's a good thing to know because
yeah.
it's very helpful too. Are they still, are y'all aware of, are they still people with antibodies? Are they recruiting them for plasma at
I
this
don't
point?
think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
And I read somewhere, and of course, this day and time, you can't believe everything you read anymore. But um, that even if you had that, you weren't necessarily safe from having
Yeah.
the virus again. And
Mhm.
Right.
because I guess the strain changes, or
It
I'm
Mutate.
no doctor.
mutates.
I'm no doctor. I just play one on TV. But
Yeah.
so I don't know.
I think it's mutating, to an extent, so it's not you're not the research that I'm saying is that you're not protected once you've had it, you don't necessarily that doesn't mean you're not gonna get it again,
And you can
which
still
isn't
carry it.
that comforting.
And you can still carry it.
Yeah,
That's
for
right.
sure.
That's
So, Mark, any specific news from the county you want to share with everybody tuned in this afternoon?
Well, we're going to be having a press conference Wednesday talking about reopening to the public as far as county, admin and
Mhm.
maybe courthouse. Courthouse is our building, but is state offices, but they're opening next week also. But we're going to be staging. People really, as far back as March, haven't been able to come into the building and buy
Right.
tags and licenses. So we're going to let people from that were due in March come the first week. People that were due in April come the second week. We're back open. We're going to ask people that were due in June not to come until June 15th. We're going to have a schedule because if we just say, okay, we're open, we've
Yeah,
got thousands of people that are going to show up, and we'll
right.
never be able to handle it. So we're only going to be open initially to the public from 8 to 3, because if we have a huge turnout, if we're open till 5, our employees will be there till 8 o'clock at night, and we
Right.
can't
Right.
have that. So we're going to work through it. Or we're going to, like I said, our employees will all wear a mask. We're going to ask everybody coming to the building to wear masks. Um, things are just going to be different.
Sure.
They
Right.
are
Now, is there anything that people can do online, Mark, before they head on down
Oh,
to the
absolutely.
building?
If you can renew your tag or license or any business with the county or state online, please do it. We do not want you coming to the building. I don't mean that ugly, but we don't want you interfacing with people now just because things are back open. We want you doing it online or mailing it
Mhm.
in. We have a drop box now with a new flag out front that you can find. We had some people complaining because they couldn't find the drop box. We've got a new bright red flag
I
that
saw
tells you
that.
where the drop box is. So we want people transacting business with the county uh, remotely and non-personal contact ability if possible. Um, and and then when we open back up next week, it'll be just people, theoretically, just people that have to have cars inspected or have issues with a license and things like that. Um, we've really had good turnout, or good participation, I guess is a better word, of online. I think we had over 60% in March of
Yeah, that's
folks
I
that
did
great.
my
do
I
it.
did my tags for the first time this year. Got the little stickers in the mail that come on this fancy piece of paper. It's super cool.
That's right. I mean, people are resistant to it because it's new and you're not used to doing it, and you're used to going down there and standing in line.
Absolutely.
There you go. Change is not easy for all of us,
Ah.
particularly some of us that are, more advanced in age. But anyway, uh,
Watch yourself.
so, but really, once you do it, like you just said, once you do it,
Yeah.
there's nothing to it, and
Mhm.
it's an easier way to do it, and you can do it removed. And we're asking and encouraging people to do it that way if you qualify. Renew all the renewals you can do that way.
Okay, but
That's
if it's something
outstanding
that's like a first time
Yeah, new
or
car. I mean,
because you got to sign some stuff.
there's even ways you can do that right now. It just takes a little longer through the
mm,
Dropbox, But new cars and inspections of vehicles that you've bought from out of state and things like that, you may have to come to the building, and we understand that.
Okay.
But
Real
just
quick before
be prepared to bring your mask and wear it with you.
before I get you to give out the website, let me just thank Knight's Wrecker Service for giving us this half hour to talk with you today, Mark. Knight's Wrecker Service, if you got a tow, you need a tow, you call Knight's Wrecker Service at 899-3257. That's Knight's Wrecker Service, 899-3257. Another shameless plug for the radio station. If you guys are open and you want to get the word out, contact Amy Pollard. She'll get your name out there. I promise you.
And I come
you.
up with these brilliant things like, if you need a tow, you know where to go.
That's right. That's right. Mark, what's that website so folks can start getting used to going online and doing some of that county business?
Well, they can go to www.houstoncounty.org to get to all of our departments. The probate judge has a website also. I think it's HoustonCountyProbate.org, I believe. But you can get to his through ours. If you go to HoustonCounty.org, you can get the probate, revenue, road and bridge, sanitation, all of them. So that's the one we usually give out. You can still call. Our employees have been working the whole time, so you can still call down there.
Right.
677-4740 is the county commission office number. We'll direct you to the right place and try to get you helped. Again, we'd rather help you over the phone and let you stay home than have you come and interface with folks. So.
It really wasn't difficult. Mark, I'm going to tell you, it was a really easy process to fill out the forms to get my tags renewed for my vehicles.
Right.
It was super easy to do. It's very step-by-step. If you skip something, which I did, it lights up in red, said, fill this out, ding-a-ling. Right. Now go to the next spot. Super easy to do. And I think it was 2 weeks later, I got my stickers.
It's just like going online and buying a pair of boots or something. There you go.
So that's HoustonCounty.org, right?
That's it.
HoustonCounty.org. So
I tell you what,
do the right thing and help Mark out.
We're so excited about all the local businesses in the community getting back at it. We are asking our listeners, our viewers, to please do your part with every single purchase that you can make on a local level. Please do that. They need your support. We need the money staying here in the Wiregrass. So it's more important than it ever has been for you to shop local and spend your money local.
And tip. Look, even if you're doing curbside, even if you're doing delivery, or if you're lucky like Mark and you get to go out to eat, tip, because those waiters and waitresses depend on those tips too. Okay.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to the press conference and the schedule that y'all will be putting out on Wednesday, Mark. Thank you so much for joining us once again. You're getting to be a regular old celebrity here with us.
I don't know about that. Glad to do it. I enjoy being on with you guys.
Thank you, Mark Culver, Houston County Commission there. Thank you, Amy Pollard of Pollard and Dave in the Morning. This is Dave of Pollard and Dave in the Morning. Y'all have a great afternoon. We'll return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
From the Hometown Lender Studio, this is WECB Headland Dothan with Pollard and Dave in the Morning and all of your favorites.
Thanks, Mark.
B1053, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app at B10.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate you, man.
Not a problem. Now let me know.
You have a great one, and maybe Wednesday after the press conference, if you want to go over it all again.
Mike can do that. We'll try to see about doing that. No problem.
Okay.
Actually, I've got to go to Auburn Wednesday. I got a dental appointment. My daughter's a dentist.
That's fine. We can do it Thursday, even. It'll be fine. Just to catch people up, let them know what's going on, man. Appreciate you, Mark.
Right, bye-bye. Bye.